by her feet.
Oh, no, propel.
Nighttime air.
What? Why'd you lose your YouTube channel, man?
The dim whites of his eye. Wolf, she whispers, nodding.
Feet.
Bella's younger sister Anna and her new husband Daniel live in
Ain't no way you better.
a city 350 kilometers southeast of Radom. Anna had been begging Bella to consider moving closer to her, but Bella knew she couldn't leave Jakob. In the 8 years that they've known each other, they've never laces his fingers between hers. He brings them to his mouth and kisses them. Fingers entwined as they sat facing each other on a bouquet spread across the grass in Kościuszki. Beautiful. Yeah, said softly. His words were so pure.
Yes, sir.
The expression
boy.
in his hazel eyes so unadulterated she wanted to cry. Back but boy so young. She isn't sure of anything. Jakob is the man she'll spend her life with.
Stop, I'm gonna get
And now he's
demonetized.
leaving Radom without her. And the sob percolating at the base of her throat will escape. The clock in the corner sounds a single toll, and she and Jakob flinch, as if stung by a pair of invisible wasps. We've been told to meet at the train station at the 1:15, Jakob says, glancing toward the door, letting his hands slip from hers. He cups his palms over her knees. His touch is cool through the cotton of her nightgown. I have to go. He leans his chest against her shins, rests his forehead on
Sokus
hers.
face reveal.
I love you, he breathes, the tips of their noses touching more than anything. She closes her eyes as he kisses her. It's over too quickly.
So big.
When she opens her eyes, Jakob is gone, and her cheeks are wet. Bella climbs out of bed and walks to the window. The wooden floorboards cold and German dive bomber. But the street, like the sky above, is empty. The silence heavy. So much. When the explosion
Keep doing that for the whole stream, beautiful. Nothing.
lit up, Radom's men dug trenches, shovel-wielding poles and shoulder to shoulder, last-minute effort to defend the city. But the trenches were useless. Bella and her parents were forced back into hiding as more bombs were dropped, this time in broad daylight from low-flying Stukas and Heinkels, mostly on the old quarter, some 50 meters or so from Bella's flat. The aerial attack kept up for days, until the town of Kielce, 65 kilometers southwest of Radom, was captured. That was when rumors spread that the Wehrmacht, one of the armed forces of the Third Reich, would soon arrive. And when radios began blaring from street corners, ordering the young and able to enlist. Men left Radom by the thousands, heading east in haste to join up with the Polish army, their hearts filled with patriotism and uncertainty. Bella pictures Jakob, Janek, Salim, and Adam making their way past the city's garment shops and iron foundries, treading silently to the train station, which had somehow been spared in the bombings, a few meager belongings stashed in their suitcases. A division of the Polish infantry, Jakob had said, awaited in Lvov. But did it really? Why had Poland waited so long to mobilize its men? It's been only a week since the invasion, and already reports are disheartening. Hitler's army is too vast, moving too quickly. The Poles are outnumbered more than 2 to 1. Britain and France have promised to help, but so far, Poland has seen no sign of military support. Bella's stomach turns.
On a road trip for
This
real.
wasn't supposed to have happened. They were supposed to be in France by now. That was their plan.
Who is this?
To move when Jakob finished law school. He'd find a position at a firm in Paris or Toulouse, close to Adi. He'd work on the side as a photographer, just as his brother composed music in his spare time. She and Jakob had been charmed by Adi's tales of France and its freedoms. There, they'd marry and start a family. If only they'd had the foresight to go before travel to France became too dangerous. Before the thought of leaving their families behind was too unnerving. Bella tries to picture Jakob with his fingers wrapped around the wooden stock of an assault rifle.
No one clipped
Could he shoot a man? Impossible, she realizes.
TOS?
He's Jakob.
No.
He isn't cut out for war. There isn't a drop of hostile blood in his body.
Oh,
The only trigger he's meant to press is the one on his camera. She slides the window gently closed. Just let the boys make it safely to Lvov, she prays.
So you can play a game
staring into the velvet
that like
blackness
has a
below.
part of it.
3 weeks later, Bella is stretched out along a
but it
narrow
can't be
wooden
like the
bench,
main thing,
running the length of a
you know.
horse-drawn wagon, exhausted
It could be
but
like a
unable to
part
sleep.
of the game, but it can be like the main.
Early
Hi,
afternoon,
homie.
yes. Beneath the wagon's canvas cover,
Yo,
there
chat.
isn't enough light to
Tonight,
see the
I'm
hands
gonna
of her wristwatch.
do some awesome live stream with my cousin. It's gonna be the
24
shush.
When the rain lets up, the sky
It's gonna be the best live stream
clouds
ever.
remains cloaked in gunmetal gray. How her driver can manage up front, exposed to the elements for so many hours, Bella has no idea. Yesterday it rained so long and hard, the road disappeared beneath a river of mud, and the horses had to scramble to keep their balance. Twice the wagon had nearly turned over. Bella tracks the days by counting the eggs remaining in the provisions basket. They began their journey in Radom with a dozen, and this morning they are down to their last, which makes it the 29th of September. Normally, to ride by wagon to Lvov would take a week at most, but with the incessant rain, the going has been arduous. Inside the wagon, the air is damp and smells of mold. Bella has grown used to the feel
I
of
just got a
sticky
text
skin, clothes that are perpetually
my
damp.
school saying
Listening to the creak of the
school
wagon
starts in
beneath
2
her,
weeks.
she closes
Like,
her
bro,
eyes and thinks about
I do not
Jakob,
care.
remembering the night he'd come to say goodbye,
Get your
the cold of his
regular
hands on her knees, the warmth of his breath on her fingers when he kissed them.
Why is bro
It was
live in
the
his
8th
car?
of September, just a day
I
after
don't
he
know.
set out for Lvov, when the Wehrmacht arrived in Radom. The Germans sent a single plane first, and Bella and her father tracked it as it flew low over the city, circling once before dropping an orange flare. What does it
Yo,
mean?
is this
Bella
too
asked as the
fast?
plane
I should-
receded, and then disappeared into a gray expanse of swollen,
I'm not
low-hanging
gonna do
clouds.
it anyway.
Her father was silent. Father, I'm a grown woman. Just tell me, Bella had said flatly. Henry looked away.
Wait, you're TOS. You're
Means they're
under
coming,
contract
he
at
answered.
13.
And in his expression, the tight downward curve of his
No,
mouth,
I'm not.
the
No,
pleat
I'm
of skin
not.
between
They
his
don't
eyes,
hear you.
she
I'm
saw
going to the
something she'd
beach
never
with my
seen
cousin,
before.
homeboy.
Her father was scared. An hour later, just as the rain began to fall, Bella watched from the window of her family's flat as rows upon rows of ground forces marched into Radom, unopposed. She heard them before she saw them, their tanks and horses and motorcycles rumbling in through the mud from the west.
Gucci
She held her breath
flip-flop.
as they came into view, at once afraid to watch and afraid to look away. Her eyes glued to them as they rolled down Betolda Boulevard in bottle green uniforms and rain-speckled goggles. So powerful,
Mom, what is this
so
goofy
many
ass
of
book?
them. They swarmed the city.
Yes, sir. Alright, that's pretty cool.
It's not goofy.
I didn't
And
hear
by
it.
nightfall, they occupied the
bro.
government buildings, proclaiming the city theirs with emphatic Heil Hitlers as they hoisted their swastika flags. It was a sight Bella would never forget. Once the city was officially occupied, everyone was wary, Jews and Poles alike. But it
I
was
will
obvious
reveal
from the
my
start
face
that the
in
Jews were the
3,
Nazis' primary targets.
2,
Those who ventured out west
1.
were being harassed, humiliated, beaten. Radomers learned quickly to
I need to
abandon the
stop.
safety of their homes. Most parents, only once, to collect some bread milk, detouring to the nearest Polish grocery, when she discovered that the Jewish market she used to frequent in the old quarter had been ransacked and closed. She kept to the back streets and walked with a quick, purposeful stride, but on her return, she had to step around a scene that haunted her for weeks. A rabbi, surrounded by Wehrmacht soldiers,
No,
his
everyone
arms
laughed.
pinned behind his back, the soldiers laughing as the old man struggled in vain to free himself,
Zero
his head
people.
thrashing violently from side to side.
Yo,
It wasn't until
Sokus.
Bella passed him by that she realized with a sickening start that the
Yo,
rabbi's
what's up,
beard was on fire.
homeboy?
A few days after the Germans
No,
took
he
Radom,
left.
a letter arrived from Jakob.
Silly.
My love, he wrote in hurried script.
Oh my
Come to
god.
Lvov soon. They've put us in apartments. Mine is enough for you. Keep it so far. Need you here, please. Jakob included an address. Her parents, to her surprise, agreed to let her go.
That's
They knew how badly
TOS.
Bella missed Jakob, and at least in Lvov, Henry was not reason. Bella Bella and her sister Anna could look after one another. Beth was speaking desperately. Bella was overcome with relief.
You're joking.
The next day, she brought the letter
Guys,
to
I'm gonna have to
Uncle's
end the live
father's
stream
son.
for this.
Her parents didn't have the money to hire a driver. They courted
There's
some
only one person here.
had the
I'm
means
fucking
and the
dying.
connections, and she was sure they would be willing to help.
Whatever.
At first, though,
I'll be live
Solomon
tonight
was
with my
India.
boy.